In this video, we'll dive into some tips and best practices for optimizing models for Unity workflows. Although we are using Maya as an example, the principles and concepts discussed here are applicable to any 3D modeling package. For this character here, the zombie duck, I'm working exclusively with quadrangulated polygons. There are many benefits to working with quads. When it comes to modeling, the three basic benefits are: quads make it easy to keep clean and even topology. It's much easier to lay out UVs, and quads work best for a subdivision or sculpting workflow. An additional benefit is that you can always triangulate your model at any time if you prefer. However, Unity will handle your geometry in the most ideal way for processing anyway, so triangulation is often not required. Working with quads allows the use of the full suite of modeling tools, as opposed to working with triangles, where modeling workflows, for example working with edge loops, can be limited. As we can see with this model, the geometry is light and very simple. This allows for better game performance while relying on textures to achieve most of the detail. The UV layout is key here. Maya has some very powerful tools to quickly lay out UVs to make texturing easy yet effective. So now let's take a look at some of the modeling tools to keep your low poly character looking ideal in-game. Starting with a simple primitive cube and the multicut tool from the modeling toolkit here in Maya, I can quickly develop a base shape for the character. I'm using extrude to create the base for the neck, head, and tail, and then building up the geometry by inserting edge loops. Soft selection for pushing and pulling to sculpt the shape, and we are on our way to a good base. Working with symmetry is one of the fastest ways to get a model's base shape built up. Try and keep your topology uniform and balanced. An easy way to do this is by using the Relax brush in the Artisan or Sculpt tools. This tool helps keep your quads at an ideal scale across your mesh. Another great way to check your form and structure in Maya is to use Smooth Mesh Preview. The hotkeys for this are 2 to preview your mesh with the low-res cage, and 3 to preview your overall smooth mesh. Press 1 at any time to return to the game model. Previewing smooth mesh actually has a number of benefits. It allows you to see how your mesh is shaping up, preview a subdivision version of your mesh for sculpting, and Smooth Mesh Preview will also reveal problem areas, such as inverse normals or non-welded or merged vertices. This brings us to a review of how to keep the geometry of your model clean, that is, optimized for performance in the Unity environment. Check your face normals and flip any reversed faces as needed. Grab the vertices selection of the entire model and perform a merge components to prevent any cracks or holes. Maya includes a handy feature called Cleanup, found under the Mesh menu. Maya's Mesh Cleanup tool lets you filter through potential issues. Note that Select Matching Polygons is highlighted rather than Cleanup Matching. I feel this is important as it allows for another filter to be applied, your own eyes. Let the Cleanup tool highlight the problems for you so that you can address how you want to fix them, or only what needs to be fixed. Let's review some tips and guidelines for clean polygonal modeling. Following these principles allows for smooth and efficient subdivision for sculpting, a more accurate representation of your overall shape, and logical areas to split UV seams, better texturing results, for example less stretching, and enhanced and more natural deformation performance in animation. Keep your mesh quads. Avoid mixed geometry, for example n-gons, triangles mixed with quads. Keep your mesh uniform and balanced, uniform in the size and spacing of polygons, and balanced with the flow of edges across the surface. Check your mesh with tools like Smooth Mesh Preview or Subdivision. Merge or weld all verts. Run a tool like Mesh Cleanup to check and see if you have any cracks or holes. Keep your model zeroed at the origin. This is best for working with symmetry, for sculpting, or for 3D painting. In this video, we took a quick look at some best practices for producing great models for Unity. Keeping your model's geometry clean and balanced will ensure that your asset is ready for optimum performance in Unity.